So, hello everybody. This feels a little weird because right now our daughter is actually staying at her aunt's place. So this is like the first time ever since I had my daughter, that she's staying somewhere else away from me. So right now I have my husband here, and I figured since there's so many people reacting to this whole Kevin Samuels interview with this woman, that I figured I would have my husband on here giving his take, and I'm going to give my take as well. And I just figured, as people from like outside racial groups, you're going to kind of hear different perspectives on just the situation, basically. So, got anything to add before I start?
They know I'm Asian.
Yes, they know you're Asian, and they make fun of that all the time, and they make fun of me all the time.
That's okay. We make the most dollars out of everybody. So, fuck that. Bitch ass niggas.
All right. So, I'm gonna play it.
This guy is a singer?
No.
Trying to be a singer?
No, that's just his intro. That's
not okay.
him.
Can you hear me now? Those were hers. Hey, can you hear me? Yeah, are you a PhD? No, I'm a PhD. How many dogs you got? One. Really? I'm sorry? What kind of dog is it? He's a cane corso.
Hold on, can you pause it?
Sure.
What is he asking her? You a PhD? And she said, I'm a PhD?
I don't know. I'm not sure. In a way, it almost sounded like...
But then they started talking about dogs.
Well, she has a dog. So when she called in, her dog was the dog that was barking in the background, and that's why he said those are hers. That's why he
right. But then
that.
He said, "Are you a?"
Right, because I guess when she called, maybe. Oh no! You know why he asked that? I'm sorry. So the episode was supposed to be, his episode of this show was supposed to be about something completely different, a completely different topic. So every woman that was calling, I think he was asking them about their education, because that was like the topic, or it had to do with the topic of that show. However, she was calling, and you're going to find out what she asked about
has
absolutely,
the topic.
Exactly, okay. Has nothing to do with it. All right.
I'm glad I don't know nothing about this.
What is that in English? It's a larger dog, and their breed is meant for
Isn't that like a Italian pit bull? That's a cane corso.
So what's your disagreement? Honestly, I don't have a disagreement. I just came in here because I honestly want some advice from you.
What the fuck you calling for then? Oh, for advice?
It says disagreement day. I know, but this is my first time catching you on live. Normally I'm asleep. And you have a job?
You don't even talk like you make sense.
I do. I own a business. Okay, so I do too. And I do have a question. But I have a business, and if you wanted my advice, you could always book a session if you can't catch us at the show live. I was trying to go online earlier. But all you have to do, man, what kind of business do you own? I own a pet grooming, doggy daycare, and okay, so what you're basically trying to do is, I have a disagreement day, and you basically came in and said, damn your topic, I want to ask you what...
Hold on. So that's what the topic was, a disagreement day. So she's calling about something else on a show that he has called a disagreement day.
I already see where this is going. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the topic is going into, but I already see that, the whole purpose was to throw him off his game, not talk about what he's trying to do.
Exactly.
Okay, press play.
I want to ask you. But you are more than welcome to go on my website and purchase your time to talk with me one-on-one. Because what you're trying to do is rather rude. But I will go ahead and do it because I'm going to use this as a teaching lesson. How old are you? How old are you? I'm 35. 35 years old. 35 years old, and you're a business owner. And what's your question? My issue is, I want to know at what point when I'm just meeting a guy, do I tell him that I'm a business owner? Because my problem is that when I try to date down and the conversation comes up to where I own a business, the guy is either like, hey, can I come join in on you on that business? Or can I put some money?
I have a little bit of input for this.
I'm not looking for that.
Okay, so to this, I'm going to just kind of interject with this. Now, what she said there I could kind of sympathize with that, because I have heard women, and depending on where she like grew up and like where she lives and whatnot, there are guys who do definitely take advantage of women, when, especially if they are high earners, especially these broke dudes. So the impression that I get from her is that she went out with dudes that were made way below the amount that she makes. You know what I mean? Or maybe didn't have a job at all. Because she even goes further to the point where she talks about how these guys were taking money from her, borrowing money from her. Because think about it, one man that makes a decent wage or has any money of his own, what man with pride likes asking a woman for money?
I don't want no money from a woman.
That's what I'm saying. So to
not
me,
that
the
I'm
impression that
it.
I get, but that's the impression that I get from her. That's
sure,
what she was dating.
Right.
Because she was saying that she dated down, but to me, she dated way down. That's what it sounds like
to a certain extent. It's also not the fault of the man, because who's dating down here? If she's knowingly dating down, then you know what you're getting these guys that's trying to get something out of you, right?
That's a very good point. So it goes
both ways.
That is a good point. That's a very good point. I mean, I don't know what her earnings were at the times that she was dating when she talks about men in the past, because it sounds like her making $100,000 is recent. So I don't know how far in the past that was. $100,000 is
really not that much, but
you'll hear what she's asking for is basically somebody that's making the same amount that she is.
And I honestly, hold on. I need to be clear on this subject. Where are you at? North Carolina. And you're saying when to tell somebody you own a business? Because I find when I date down, God. See an interest and want to be like a business partner, and I'm learning that maybe I need a high value man, because that's what. Well, first off, ma'am, I really don't understand. What kind of man are you talking about? Because owning a business is no different than having a job, in my opinion. And I'm not getting what you're saying. When should you? I'm not understanding why this is an issue. If you're, what kind of men are you dating?
Guys that's taking money from her. That's what that really is. She's the stupid one giving it away.
I do have a question though. From what you hear so far, do you think he sounds disrespectful?
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all. If anything, I kind of feel like he's pointing out the obvious for her. Like,
and she
what
doesn't
do you
want to
not
take
see?
it. Right, and she doesn't want to take it.
Okay.
Okay.
You try to do what? I try to give guys that's not on my level a chance. Why? What do you mean on your level? What does that mean? That's making 6 figures or more. But I don't okay. You try to give guys who are not on your level a chance. Why? Because I honestly want a 6-figure guy. Is what I'm realizing.
Then say it.
So let me just go ahead and net it out for you. You ready? Uh-huh. The guys you want aren't asking you out. Well, I haven't been putting myself out there.
You saw this already?
But you put yourself out there enough for the guys you don't want or beneath you to ask you out. Those are like guys I met online. Right.
Terrible.
So, again, the men you want are not asking you out. See, you ladies do this. You go and deal with men who you feel are beneath you, and then you ask how to fix them. I'm not beneath you. I don't know how to fix a guy that's down there. That's not my concern. The better question is, why can't you get a guy on your level? That's the real question. Well, first of all, I would tell you, what I said in here automatically is a problem. Why you would come onto a show that you know is a disagreement?
I'm going to pause this.
Sure.
Is he a psychologist?
No.
So is he like a motivational
He's
something?
an image consultant, and he does some other stuff, but that's like the base. I've watched some of his stuff.
It kind of that stuff interrelates. Okay. No, I'm just wondering because I kind of I'm getting like this mental health kind of stuff.
There might be. Yeah.
Or it's either that or he's really that in tune with not promotions, but like marketing. There's, there's psychology in that as well.
I think he did do something like that in the past, but I'm not certain. But
he's asking her the right question. Right. Why are you devaluing yourself by stepping down? You the one that chose to step down.
Right.
Right. And then at the same time, how are you going to find someone, at your level going online and not putting out the filters of like...
Right. But that's what I was saying, that I get this impression that she might live, and she probably grew up in an inner... I get the impression that she's from the inner city. That's just the impression that I get. From. It does to a degree. Why? Because the standards of men in inner cities is going to be very different, especially poorer inner cities, is going to be very different to high class men, or your $100,000 or more men. To me,
you mean people I know?
Really? Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like the standards, and for example, right, one of the points that she's gonna say, and I'll just kind of get to it before she even says it, is that she talks about how her body is better. She rates her body better than her face. And growing up in the hood, just like me, that guys will chase after the woman that have a nice, especially Latin and black dudes. That they will go after that chick hard if she has a nice body, and they don't care about her face like that. And it's very true. So she might be thinking that men do chase her, but it's those type of men, and she might be thinking that, well, maybe these men of this caliber will like me too, because these men on this caliber seem to go after me all the time. Does that make any sense? So maybe she just doesn't understand it because she's never surrounded herself around those high caliber of men that she wants, so she's never had the ability to.
That's interesting, because one of the things I picked up was that she finds that's like not from my era, I guess, because I don't find people online.
She's 35, so that's millennial. That's millennial.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's already a difference for me. So I feel like I can't relate, because the way how I meet people is
in person.
It's in person, right? It's either I step to you, you step to me, or people introduce us, right? That's really how it works. It's not, for me, it's not like some internet. Whatever. Hit play.
It's selfish. It's like, yes, ma'am. It's like, I want what I want. I don't say things for no reason. That's why I asked you questions. You're 35 years old, a business owner. That means you understand what business is, and this is a business. And I have a show title, and you said, "Damn your show title, I want to talk to you."
And to me, honestly, this is why a lot of people don't seem to be taking this into account. The fact that she did that she called on a day that he wasn't even talking about that, but he still took her call. He still managed to be respectful. That says a lot, because a lot of guys on here, if you were to do something like that, they would hang up immediately, and they would have the right to do so, because you're calling and asking about something else that's completely irrelevant.
Right, and not for nothing. As an image consultant, let's say, and my business, my purpose, that's my money right now, and you're lucky that I'm even considering taking your call and answering the question. Right. Because the moment you open your mouth and you ask the question and it's unrelated, why am I even bothering myself with you right at this moment? Yeah. Why don't we take this offline and handle it a different way? But okay, this hasn't. I'm guessing. We got more than half to go.
Talk to me, but you wanted what you wanted, how you wanted. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Shoot, he's saying the same thing I'm saying.
Black women, you don't do shit the right way with black men. That was improper. And when I told you the right way, you still were like, well, whatever.
I'm going to keep pushing my way through. Yeah. Going to keep plowing through.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this. When was the last time you had a relationship?
Like the end of last year, around December.
The end of last year?
How long did it last?
A year.
Did it really?
A year. And was that man, did you go to college?
Did I go to college?
Yes.
No, sir.
She groomed dogs, man. She didn't go to no college.
Stop.
Who you know go to college?
I know.
Dogs.
Hey, but look, I gotta give her credit though, because if she's making that much money, she hasn't gone to college. She found her niche, whatever it was, and she's doing decent for herself.
Good for
her. I feel for her, because she doesn't seem like she's a terrible person or anything. And I know that the people on the internet have been going.
I'm curious why he's asking that question, because me not knowing the content of this, I already know she ain't go to college, or at least she ain't finished.
The impression, right? So I kind of figured that too, but that's more of the way she speaks that I took that from.
That's not how I'm taking it.
I took it from the way she speaks and kind of how she like her language usage. To me, I kind of gauged that from the beginning that she doesn't really seem to have that high a level of education.
I speak pretty street, except for in my writing. When I write, I write. Like,
you think you do, and I think you do with us, but when you're in your meetings every single day, no, you don't. So you do switch up the language. There is a certain, especially when it comes to anything with legal jargon or whatever, you tend to switch it up when it comes to that environment. You may not recognize it, but you do it, and you do it every day. So
9 years.
And how long have you been making six figures or more?
The last 3.
Okay. Why do you need a man making six figures?
Because I'm finding out that the guys that I date, it's not working out.
What does that have to do with
what's not working out?
Because I feel like I need a guy that I can respect and admire, and I'm ambition, and I want a guy.
This sounds terrible,
that has that drive too. And
but you hear the way she talks. That's the impression that I get, that she's like, her education level is not.
Yeah, but I kind of don't hit play yet. I kind of feel like a lot of this is really about herself.
Well,
it's about her not being able to get a certain caliber of men, and she's wondering why, but she's not allowing.
There's a catch that I don't know if you remember. Like, I had mentioned the story to you, and there was a detail that she hasn't got to yet. That's a very important detail, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa!"
I kind of feel like she's also not taking advice.
She's not.
If you're seeking advice, why are you not taking the advice?
Yeah, and that's so. Yeah.
All right.
I find myself, encouraging, like, hey, babe, you can do this and you can do that. And then,
all right, so in North Carolina, what percentage of the population, what percentage of men in this country make six figures or more?
I think it's like 5%. I'm not sure.
What the hell?
Closer to 10. So, 10%. All right. So the question is, what do those men who make that kind of money, who all women tend to want, what do they want?
I feel like they want arm candy, somebody who can have more to bring to the table than just looks, but also bring balance to their life. I feel like I can help them out on.
Okay, slow down. I'm not understanding. You said they want arm candy, then you contradicted yourself. They want somebody that more than just looks.
Yeah, arm candy, but something about brain with it, and more in depth.
Do you know any men who make six figures or more?
My dad and my uncle.
Do you know any men that you are related to that make six figures or more?
I'm related to? Yeah,
that you are not related to.
Not on a personal level.
Damn, this feels painful.
So you don't know them. You don't know what they want, but you want them. Man,
there's some
I'm going to suggest that you really don't know what you want. And saying six feet.
I'll say this really quick too. To me, I also get the impression that she said that she just said that her father is one of the men that she knows that makes six figures. We don't know how recent that is. I get the impression that she really hasn't been around men who have been honest with her. Either that, or maybe her father might be one of the few men in her family, and maybe there's more women than men. Because between growing up with my dad, my uncles, my father's friends, I heard male honesty ever since I was a child. So, like, I get the impression like the men are just, whatever men are in her life, they're just not being honest with her.
What do you mean by that?
Well, she seems to have this kind of, I don't want to say it's just like a. I don't want to say it's delusional because I don't like, pooping on somebody's dreams, right? And I don't want to feel like I'm putting this woman down because
I see where you're
because
going.
I'm not. Right. But I guess what I'm saying is like there's no men to be like, well, what you might be asking for, is a little much, considering the demographic of men that you want. Let's say it's specifically going after the men of her own race, right? It's kind of like asking for a lot. Her demands are really high, and it's like, what's the likelihood that somebody that makes that much money is gonna want somebody that's that old?
If you're gonna go that way, then I'm gonna go like this. Yes, it's really difficult. Why? Because one, when you start looking at the demographics, not high wage earners, right?
Yeah.
And then you want to look at, how do people become successful? There's only a few avenues people from different groups become successful. Like you look at the Jews, Indians, and Asians. Mm-hmm. What do they get into? They get into like some type of medical stuff, or they're in finance, something that deals with numbers.
Lawyers.
Well, lawyers are more like
usually
you see Jewish people become lawyers, right? And everyone else is kind of lower in the percentage of people who graduate from law school. But really, you start questioning demographics. It's like, it's going to be really difficult, and you got to know that. But also, the thing that's really apparent to me is like, how do you even know that that's what you want when you don't even know anyone?
Right, that's a really great point.
So you're imagining these people to be a certain way. But what happens if those very same people or their behaviors are the very same as the people you've been dating?
Right, you don't even know.
And now you're like, shoot. These people, they might be leeches too, right?
Right.
So
they might be abusive in different ways. Not necessarily physically abusive, but they could be emotionally abusive. They could be anything, which is very true. They can have certain type of character, maybe narcissistic characteristics.
If you heard me say that when I mentioned fantasy, I started seeing her fantasy of like, I want to be with these guys who make as much as me or more than me. But yet you never met one, so you don't even know how they really are, how they really move.
Thanks.
There's a reason why these people that she's terming as lower caliber or lower I don't remember the word. That's the reason why she's stepping down. There's a reason why she's also attracted to them.
Right.
So these men that are of a higher caliber may not be what she really wants at the end, right?
And also, like, I'm not trying to put the woman down. I'm not trying to like attack her looks or whatever, but just based off the little bit that I see of her here and like how she's dressed and her makeup, her hair, little things like that, that's not gonna attract somebody of that.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think it would.
All I'm saying is that it's gonna be harder, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think it would be a lot. I don't know, because it just, that's just some things that I noticed, like with the clothes. Like she can make a certain amount, but like what she's wearing doesn't represent the amount that she's making. I'm just going by if she makes that much, like the money that she's putting into like herself and how she's carrying herself, that doesn't look like she makes that much. Does that make any sense? Like it doesn't align with like her look. She's
a dog groomer.
It doesn't matter. If you're a single woman, no. If you're a single woman, come on. If you're a single woman that wants a certain type of guy, then what you're gonna do is dress and wear your hair, whether it's wigs or whatever, your natural hair doesn't matter.
That's a good comparison.
Your makeup, all of that has to be on par with what you want to attract, and that is a big deal. And then the fact that she's also a little bit on the older side, as someone, I'm also on the older side. Those are things that you gotta know. Like if you're trying to attract a certain type of guy, then you're gonna have to look the part too.
Right. You know what you reminded me of? You reminded me of I don't mean to bring him up, but like that bounty hunter show and his wife.
Oh yeah.
They look like they were for each other, right?
Yeah.
And then when we go to like places like Walmart, some of these dudes that wear the Woodlawn camouflage, and then their wife wears the Woodlawn camouflage.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's like two birds of the same. They flock together.
Right.
So
and that's what I'm saying. Like so when you see of that, right? You think of that. It's like it doesn't mean that she can never find what she wants. Yeah. She's making it a lot harder.
Yeah.
She's making it a lot harder.
I agree with that. Let's go with the next one.
It's just something that you
I know what you meant.
Taken from out there, but I'm not hearing this rooted to anything. But what do you want ultimately? Do you want to be married, children, what?
Yes, I want to be married.
You want any children?
Yes.
How many?
I have a son now, so.
Okay. How old is your son?
He's 13.
Where's the father?
He's not in his life.
I didn't ask that. I said, where's the father?
Well, he's not like, you know.
So you heard that part, right? That she has a 13-year-old son, and right now she's answering the question about the father, the child's father.
I would like him to be.
All right, so
she's not answering the question either way.
Right. So it's basically a strained relationship with the child's father. You know, with the child's father. Mm-hmm. You know. So, and it's like she doesn't know how to answer the question because the relationship is strained. So she's already telling guys by this, I'm this age, I'm 35 years old, I have a 13-year-old son, and on top of that, if you get with me, you're going to have to deal with my 13-year-old son's father, who we have a strained relationship with. So that's a lot to handle for anybody. You know what I mean? And I would say the reverse is true. Like, let's say if it's a woman that doesn't have kids, but she meets a guy and he has kids by some other woman and the woman's crazy, and then you got to deal with that other woman. Get out of here.
But not for nothing. The only people who would understand that and be okay with that,
with somebody that have kids themselves.
That's right. Okay.
So I would suggest my thing, like, let's say a perfect man what I would figure for her.
Perfect man, screw you.
For her would be, that's what I said for her. For her would be somebody that's making around 70, 80, so a little bit less than her, has maybe 1 or 2 kids of his own that he is the sole, custodian of.
I disagree with that.
I think that would be good for her, because that would be the only type of guy that's going to truly understand is going to be a guy that.
I disagree with that. What I would say is that she needs to work on herself, because it's not about someone else that she's trying to. She needs to work on. Well, okay, so let's say the obvious, right?
Yeah.
Then she's still not working on herself. So her rubrics for what makes the perfect man for her is still there. So until she works that out and finds out and figures out what is it that she wants, what is it that she's demanding from a man, from a relationship, and what is she willing to put on the table? Because, for all you know, she might be getting played out because she's putting way too much on the table.
That's very
Slow
true.
it down.
Yeah.
Why are you sleeping around like that? Right, so I don't know. I'm just saying. So I don't mean to put the woman down. I'm just,
well, we don't know. Yeah, that might no. That's we're not saying that that's the case with her. So that's not
right.
What
but there's a whole key aspect here, and it's not who she's trying to get. It's really herself that she needs to work on. Mm-hmm. I can't get past that, because how can you demand something from someone else without knowing what it is that you're willing to accept and put out? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. But I think the other thing that may not be helping her is that she has so many women on the space that are like defending her so hardcore. Now, I don't agree that she should be getting like attacked and stuff like that, because I don't think she doesn't seem like a bad person. So I don't think that she should be getting attacked or anything online. That's messed up. But, I do think, like, there's a lot of people insulting her. You know what I mean? Because of this, there's a lot of people that like have made videos insolting the woman. So I do feel bad for her.
I did say some funny things, so let me apologize now. My apologies.
That's okay. No, no. I mean, like, people are like really going in on her, like, really bad.
Well, they're also not mental health workers, so I see something behind this.
Yeah, I know you do. Well, it's your profession too, so yeah. So you might be able to read things a whole lot better than everybody else on here, or a lot of other people.
Men who make the kind of money you're talking about have options. And typically they don't want to deal with women who have 13-year-old sons, who are used to dating men. This doesn't sound appealing. So the kind of man you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was thinking once I start looking sexual with you that
I can't change men.
I know, but I can approve myself, and I feel like I have a lot to offer to those type of men.
Oh, okay, but see, you should have stopped right there. I just told you I cannot change men. And you said, once I book a session with you, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm telling you what they want. And you're still saying, yeah, but I want them. They don't want you.
But I have been working on myself this year and
she's saying that. She's just repeating herself.
But, okay, 35.
Yeah, this is painful.
13-year-old son with a sketchy father. Why would a man who's the top 10% of earners, who women across the country want that?
Because I have a lot to offer.
You're not saying anything.
You want your son to, if you had a son making that kind of money, would you want him to bring home a woman who had a 13-year-old son from a sketchy father?
No.
Or would you prefer him to get a woman who had no children, was younger, and easier to get on his program?
Depending on his age.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep for black women. They will even... should have been an easy question. No, I would not want my son to bring... I want the best for my son.
That's right.
That should have been the appropriate answer. That's why I sat up. That is bullshit.
He's right.
Yeah.
You should want the best for your son.
Go ahead. Want to say more to that?
I don't want to say too much because I feel like I don't want to feel like I'm going in on the woman, but she's missing the honesty, and I don't know if it comes from like her background of not getting enough honesty, like you pointed out earlier.
Yeah, that's the impression that I get, that a lot of these women they're not used to being around men who are like honest, like painfully honest. And to me, even with him being painfully honest, he's still being very respectful. Like, I've heard men being painfully honest and while being disrespectful.
Yeah,
so I've heard the blunt, nastiest things in my life, you know? So, you know, in a way, it's kind of like...
But there's also the other aspect of, like, the people that she was surrounded by, whether it was men or not. I have the feeling that it wasn't...
She was around more women.
Right. That's what I'm getting, because what women do is women egg each other on.
Yeah, we do.
Right? You guys coddle each other, but you guys also, just like guys, you guys hype each other up.
It's also why, like... And this is going to sound mean or whatever, but for me, this is why... It's not that I'm one of those people that does... Because I get along with women just fine. But I think for me, I have a hard time having strong friendship, long-lasting friendships with women, because sometimes I get the impression that women want me to do the same. And if I really love you as a friend, I will not do that to you. I want what's best for you. So even if it might hurt you, what I say might hurt you, I still want you to do the right thing. Like, if you're with a guy that treats you like shit, I'm going to say, no, fuck him. No, you leave. Why are you in this situation? Why are you, choosing to be with a guy that's abusive to you? Right. I can't be one of those women that's just, oh no, he's bad, but I understand, it's love, and love is love, and sometimes you just gotta love. No, and so that's why I usually had a hard time holding on to friendships, because I'm one of those people that wants to be I guess I grew up with the honesty. I want to give the honesty, because I feel like in the long run that's what's going to save your life.
You're honest. That's why
that's what's going to save you.
We end up distancing friends because we're too honest, and we don't want to see you get hurt.
Yeah.
So why are you going to put us in the position of pain?
Yeah.
So now we got to protect ourselves by distancing ourselves from you and people like you.
Yeah.
Can you hit play?
Yeah.
Of course.
But and are you thinking?
If he from yes, I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. But
that's the problem. You all think you're the exception to the rule.
Yeah, that is true.
But your life is proven to you that you're not.
And you're 35.
My life is not that good. I agree with you.
That's my point, and ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule.
A lot of them do, yeah. That's true.
And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like,
you're defending it.
Yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
That's the truth.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
Why is it so what?
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are young girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Oh boy.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Oh no.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up 5, but when I put myself together 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress
size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women. Off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking.
Okay, so about that, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I agree with him and he says that most people are average. I even consider myself pretty average, right? So he's not saying anything bad. And the thing that people are taking now is they're making average out to be a bad thing. Like, looking average or being average is a bad thing. It's like, why is that necessary? If you're ugly, that's a bad thing, right? But if you're average, why is that a bad thing?
If you're ugly and people think you're average, that's a freaking good thing. No,
you're not understanding me. She's saying, pay attention. She's calling herself average, right? However, what sounds like to me is that she wanted him to say, like, no, you're higher than that. But he didn't.
Oh, but he's not doing that. He's saying you rate yourself. I'm not rating you.
Right. So if she is average, I guess she's average, right? But she also takes that, she says that she's average, but then she takes it as something that's negative. And other women and other people that have been criticizing this whole case, like this whole interview or whatever, have been taking the word average as something negative. And I don't think looking average is bad. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, how many people really look like Instagram models? How many people really look like runway models? Not a lot. That's why there's places for them. Hello, and most people in the world don't look like that. Get over it. Like, even as women, like, I think that some of us kind of get so caught up in that, like, oh, if we're not told that, like, all of us have to be told that we're all beautiful and that we're all, like, look, man, fine. I think every person has, probably certain things about them that make them beautiful, whether it's their personality.
I kind of think that's when self-empowerment goes wrong, where it's like, don't let no one ever tell you you're anything less.
And that's what I think she probably heard stuff like that her whole life.
Which is fine. It helps
to a degree. It helps, but it doesn't help when you get to the point where you're so, like, now you're like living in a world of delusion because you're being told all these lies on the one hand, and then real life is going to show you something else. You know what I'm saying? I go by not what my family tells me with regards to how I look. I go by how I'm treated out there in the real world. You know what I mean? And the real world has shown me, yeah, you're average. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? But of course, you're going to have parents that are going to tell you, you know, you're beautiful, or family members that tell you you're beautiful, or this and that. And it's not saying that I didn't get people in the street telling me things like that too. But what I'm saying is that the world does show you, whether you like it or not, what your value is with regards to looks as a woman. The world just shows it to you, and that's just how it is. And I feel like some women are so like, you know, like, no, you can't tell me I'm average. No, I need to be represented everywhere. No, I need to see my image everywhere. It's like, yo, what the seriously? Like,
that's really interesting.
It's like the world is not, like, you're not learning from the world. Like, like you're not learning the lessons of the world. The world is telling you something, and you're not learning the lessons.
That's really interesting, because I grew up with guys that knew they were ugly, but accepted that they were ugly, and they capitalized on that and used that to get some beautiful ass girls.
It's usually a whole lot easier for ugly guys, but that's the world. It's usually way easier for guys, even if they're ugly, to get good-looking girls. If they can make a girl laugh, oh, forget it. That's it. They got her, you know? So if they can make her laugh, if they make decent money, if they're good people, if they, you know, they got a good character, usually they'll win any woman over if they want to. So they can learn to play it up. I genuinely believe that even women that are not that attractive could also play up whatever good things that they have too. That's what I had to do. You know, I have a personality for a reason. I'm funny for a reason. Oh, the people that know me know I'm funny. You know, and there's certain things about, you know, me and that's something that I developed because life made me develop that. And I think that everybody should have other aspects of their personality, that they shouldn't just base everything on their looks. But I think that there's some women that are just so hell-bent on what the world thinks and what the world, like, look, the world is going to think whatever it is, right? You need to play the hand that you were dealt and play it hard. You go out there and you play the hand that you were dealt the best way that you can to get the best life that you can. And I don't understand what it is with women that they have a hard time doing that nowadays. Instead, they want to have people and force men to find them beautiful. Why would you want to be with somebody that is forced to call you beautiful? Right? That woman, what she needs to do is find a man on her level that finds her beautiful and puts her on a pedestal. That's what she needs. She's not going to get that, though, if she's living in a world of delusion. That's my words.
Why you sound so angry?
I'm not angry. I do get annoyed with women because it's like the fact that they take certain things and they make it so negative. They make average out to be negative.
Well, average is the majority of the world.
Exactly, but a lot of women don't want to believe that they're like the majority. Believe it. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you can't make yourself look good. It doesn't mean that you can't, you know, play up your good characteristics. It doesn't mean that you can't build a personality. It doesn't mean that you can't. That's really true, but that's
her issue, though. From everything that I'm getting, everything is internal. It's not external for her. All her problems are internal.
It's a combination because you'll see.
All right.
Talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up. The whole reason why I brought up about I knew ugly dudes that got with some beautiful ass girls, and it's really because that is how they project themselves, how they see themselves, and they own who they are. They own their character. They own their personality. And, you know, again, that's what I feel like this woman is not doing, right? Mm-hmm. She's not capitalizing on her strength. So, for example, if she's meeting these lower level guys, right, and they want to be in business with her, why she can't be like, okay, you can do something, be my stock boy for the next year, and then I'll bump you up to I don't know, a cashier, to a groomer, to a manager. Maybe you can be my district manager when I'm ready to do some expansion. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So why she can't do that? Mm-hmm. She's just relegating them to, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. I guess because she said that she feels like she can't respect them because they're making less than her. That was pretty much what she led with. And the thing is that what she leads with is her money. The whole conversation and everything that she says goes back to the money. And that's what she leads with is her money. So she's not leading with anything else with what she can offer. What she's leading with and what she's offering is her money.
Not for nothing. There is some value to money. But
Absolutely.
if your marriage is going to be based on solely on money, it's going to end somewhere.
Of course. But not just that. She's basing everything off of money, and leading with money to men that don't need money. So the men are looking like, yeah, you got money, but the men are like, those men are going to be like, I got money. I don't need your money.
Well, but at the same time,
it's good that
to
the
guys that don't have money, it's like, well, I never had money to begin with. So
that's different. You're dealing with a whole different mentality of guys.
Right. I mean, but it's two sides of the same coin of how people would treat you, though. All right, go ahead.
I guess.
My body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what?
Oh.
I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but.
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that. Okay. Average looking women. Average looking woman who's older.
This guy's famous.
Average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son. Average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men.
The top 10% don't need another high wage.
That's what I just said. That's what I was just saying.
And you're making.
That's what I was just saying. That she's leading with her money to people that have money, and they're looking at you like,
people that got money don't need the money.
Right? I already got the money. I need someone that looks a certain way and who is a certain way and who is a certain
or
age.
supports me a certain way. How do I know you can support me when you? So, for example, I'm a doctor. You're a dog groomer. How are you going to support me? You going to take care of my dog? I need somebody that does more than that.
Horrible.
No. I'm for real, right? So. Look, you know where I'm heading in life, right? So you're not going to be able to support me as a dog groomer. So what other value are you bringing to the table? If you're leading with your money or with your profession, what else is there?
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying before. That she's leading with her money, and that's what he's trying to get to. He's trying to get to her asking that question. He wants her to answer that question, and he's
doing a good job, I think.
She keeps navigating around that question.
Well, she keeps deflecting. She keeps defending. Yeah. She keeps coming up with excuses. But this is typical when people don't like what they're hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't want to have to go there. But when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone. Straight up. Because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina.
Right, she's leading with her money. That's why.
If your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. Mm-hmm. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average. And your reality of your life has showed you that.
You
don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you. See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people. And you're an average person. I mean, let's be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business.
That's what I've been saying since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I'm looking at you, if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair, what do you look like under there?
I mean, I look the same. I'm just...
No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
I'm sorry?
No, you don't. You don't look the same because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So, what is your advice for ladies that...
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening to me. This is why I always recommend you need therapy. People think most of us in the Black community need therapy, but you're not dealing with reality. I asked you about your child's father, and you couldn't answer me. But it doesn't sound like you're too proud of him. What kind of student is your child?
He's an A student.
Does he have any behavioral problems?
No, he actually got a YouTube channel, and he's trying.
I don't need no. But where is it? But his daddy is still. If his daddy is alive, does he have a relationship with his father?
Yeah, he does.
Then what's your issue with him?
He's not business minded like my father and my uncle. And
then why did you choose to make a baby with him before you got married?
Uh-oh.
Young and dumb. I was 16.
Exactly, and that cost. See,
yeah.
that young and dumb shit. Let me stop
Hold
you
on,
right there.
that doesn't make sense. She said she was 16.
When she got pregnant, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? She says she's 35.
Yeah.
That kid should be 20, 21 years old. 20. The kid should be between 19 to 21 years old, not freaking 15 years old. So she's either really bad at math or she doesn't even know how old her son is.
Or she's lying.
She's just lying throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Now you're playing games with me.
As if it's supposed to get...
Don't mess with Asians in math.
Listen and listen well, women. Young and dumb is not a get out of jail free card. It doesn't go woof and change the fact. You still have to carry that consequence. And men are not rushing up to be stepfathers to 13-year-olds.
They're not. Not in this society.
What would be better is if you honestly sat down and asked yourself, what value can I bring to a man?
And I know that, what I can.
Well, all right. What value, what is it?
What is it? I can help him with his business. I'm very business-minded on the end of helping organize. And I plant.
Not all high earners own a business.
So I can definitely.
Majority of high owners don't own businesses. I think.
Improving my elegance with just self-improvement and working on myself. And
man, at 35 years old, here's what you told me. I can help him with his business. Due respect, ma'am. And I mean no disrespect, but 20 to 30% of people own businesses. What about the 70 to 80% of men who don't?
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
That means that doesn't matter.
Doesn't.
That means nothing to the average man. Then the next thing you said, I can plant. Man,
You said plant?
that means nothing
Plant
to
what?
most
As in
people
have a
'cause
baby?
They go to grocery stores. They
my
say
garden?
self-improvement. I gave you a shot
You
in
help
saying what you have
make
to offer
produce
to men,
for.
and you
I mean, there's some
said
value to
nothing
that.
we
Bring-
value.
Yes.
It's like
what do you got?
Book a session. Book a session.
book a session.
I'm doing this. Nope. I'm done. I'm trying to go right now. This happens. The older you ladies get, the more you get set in your ways. Book a session because I don't want to do this in public, man. Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you don't. But you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
I get tired of you broads telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on a day that you ain't even supposed to be here, and I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you, and I'm telling me I'm being mean.
And look how disrespectful she is. She's on the fucking cell phone.
Yeah, that's right. Not only was she on the cell phone, but on top of that, the whole entire call was disrespectful for the show because it wasn't even on topic.
Disrespectful for the show, the man's time, the listener's time.
Yeah.
This was painful for me because it was so obvious. It's like the issue is not external. The issue is with you. You need to know your own value.
Yeah. Well, the messed up thing is that the external is going to be the easy target. So the external is going to be used as the easy thing to go against her with. Oh, she looks like that.
It's always someone else's problem, not mine.
Oh, she looks like that. She can't get a high or whatever. And to a degree, there's a lot of truth in that, right? Because those people that make that much, if they're single dudes, and if they have access to Instagram models, hello, like, duh.
That was also the other fantasy, right? Like,
come on. And some women, like, they think that no matter, like, if they wear the sexiest, sluttiest clothes and they stick out their butt a little more, that it's gonna make them look like these Instagram. And no, ma'am, it's not doing it. Like, get over it. It's not. It don't work like that. Like, you either look like one of those women or you don't, or you get the money to get the surgeries to look like them, and even that.
Even that, you still have a lot of problems.
And even that, one Mexican girl died the other day because she wanted another Brazilian butt lift. Every doctor told her her body was...
I was going to say, look at the...
Every doctor denied her, told her body was perfect. One doctor didn't deny her, and she died.
Well, I was going to say, look at that famous family with the letter K, right? They have a lot of issues with their relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And that's like...
Yeah. Yep.
People put them up there like as if they look all that, but even if you do look all that and you got all that money, you still have a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. They do have a lot of problems, and then their problems. The difference with their problems and everybody else's problems is their problems are on display, and they're making money off of putting their problems on display.
That's very true.
That's the other thing. And then the other thing that you don't know about that K family is if that's all acting. You never know. Yeah. That could all be.
What was this guy's name?
Kevin Samuels is his name.
He seems like a good guy to me. Very on point, very direct. Mm-hmm. I think people are hurt because he was direct in a very nice way until the very, very end. It's like, but that's what taking up my time. You're taking up my time and you're not paying for it.
She finally irked his nerves enough to make him get to a point where he got snappy with her. That was how I took it. I was like, I could imagine if I were to do something like that, especially with Latin people or these Latin dudes would rip my head off immediately. Anyway, like I wouldn't even if I don't like the person, I wouldn't do something like disrespectful unless maybe if they disrespected me, but still, like I wouldn't even waste my time doing that. The fact that she even called and the fact that these women call, they go out of their way to call, that I don't understand in it of itself. Why would you put yourself out there like that? Because you're literally putting yourself out on display.
I think it was on purpose. I think it was a setup, and then it started sounding like it was a whole freaking lie at the end. So
with her, it could be. It sounded like it. Because if she said she was 35 and she had her son at 16, then how is her son 13 years old?
15. She said her son was 15.
13. She said her son was 13.
It doesn't matter either way. It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. My math is bad.
It's basic math.
Yep. Even by basic math is math. But yeah.
Yeah, this was interesting. I mean, I'm still not into the type of stuff you're into, but...
Well, I just figured I would talk about it because it's like a trending topic. So I was like, I don't think that we would come on here and totally like bash the woman. So that's not our personality, but people might take it that way anyway. Because the minute that you disagree with the hive mind, people take it as bashing. So unfortunately, that's how it is.
That's a problem with modern age and also with the younger generation.
Yeah, it is. They really, and then
it's also part of this cancel culture too.
Yeah. The sensitivity is, I mean, I cannot raise my daughter to be this sensitive. There is no way. Like, how do you survive in the world like that? And I think that a lot of these people don't survive in the world. They're living in the confines and they're speaking in the confines of certain, hiding behind anonymity and canceling people behind anonymity. A lot of times they don't show themselves. So, they feel like they're empowered by doing that. They feel more emboldened by doing things like that.
Well, some people are not living in reality because their rubrics is going by someone else's whose life may not be true at all.
Right. Especially if they're living, especially if you're basing people's lives off of what you stare at all day, which is Instagram. a lot of these people lie on Instagram. They lie with how they live. So they'll be taking pictures in front of like these jets and stuff. Meanwhile, they walk home to their tiny little square apartment. You know, it's a shame. Anyhow, enough of the rambling, I guess. But that was interesting, and thank you.
Interesting for me because it feels like that felt like a therapy session. Not a therapy session for me, but like that's what really happens in some of these sessions.
Yeah, you know, I think that the sad thing is that people aren't taking. That people don't want to hear honesty anymore, and honesty now equates hate. It equates hate speech at this point. That's what people's honesty now is being viewed as. It's being viewed as hate speech. So it's gotten pretty bad. That's something that has to change. There's no way the world. See you guys in my next one, and hopefully you enjoyed that.
Long ass video.
It was a long ass video, and hopefully people sat through it. I think they would have, because it's interesting to hear a different perspective from different groups of people. All right, say bye.